and welcome to Film Franchise Fortnights on the Cult Pop Show podcast. Now, you've just caught us in media res, which means in the middle of a conversation.
Really?
We're talking about what was the last film you guys cried at. AJ, you said you had a hilarious answer. Also, special guest, we've got Kieran Bennett.
Oh, hey. I'm also
on the
here.
podcast today.
He doesn't get a pop filter, though.
Yeah.
No. It's because I breathe like a normal person.
Yeah, so Kieran Bennett is here joining us from the For Crits and Giggles podcast.
You did it.
There's four of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, AJ, that joke has never been made before.
Congrats, dude. Yeah, so anyway,
I'm an auteur.
we more about him later, but for now,
He's not important for now.
Leave him alone.
Just ignore him.
AJ,
Yeah.
last movie you cried at.
Click.
Is it actually the last movie?
I think so.
When did you watch it?
When I was very young. I haven't cried in years, man. I'm an emotional husk. But no, I remember. Have you seen Click?
Yeah, did I cry at it?
Yeah, so I cried at it as well. It's amazing.
When he pauses Henry Winkler when he's in the hug position so he can hug him because he dies.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah.
This podcast
Spoilers
will
for
contain
Click.
spoilers for Click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I shouldn't have come on.
That's a good answer. I don't think it's as left field as you were thinking.
No, I cried in like Lost and stuff like that.
What was the last TV show to make you cry?
Probably Lost.
What episode?
I don't want to, because I feel like Lost spoilers are a bit more sensitive than Click spoilers, so I don't want to be like, oh, it's when XXX died and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Spoilers XXX.
Spoilers for Triple X. What's the subtitle of the Triple X movie?
The Return of Xander Cage.
There will be spoilers for Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage on this podcast.
Does he die in that movie?
No, he dies in between the first and second one. But it's like a fuck you, Vin Diesel.
Oh, right.
You can't come.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Vin Diesel, he's a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons.
He is.
Which is what we're talking about today. Now that we've known what makes AJ cry.
Just hold on a second here, Richard. You say we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but this is a podcast where we talk about film franchises, not tabletop games.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys.
Not role-playing
I'm so
games.
sorry.
What is this?
Oh, shit.
Well,
explain.
Dungeons and Dragons is a famous RPG or a role-playing game, and they adapted it into a series of films, which not a lot of people know about.
I know about them.
You didn't know there was movies before, did you, Kieran?
No, I did.
You knew there was movies.
Yeah. But it was kind of like I bleached them out of my mind because you'll find out why.
Did you have any knowledge of them before watching them?
Well, I mean, I knew that they existed and I knew what they were about, but I'd never watched them because you'll find out why I never watched them.
Yeah. Like, they were one of those things that I'm sure on some level I was like, yeah, of course these exist. But yeah, I didn't really have any kind of knowledge of. But yeah, as I say, there are 3 movies. The franchise consists of Dungeons and Dragons. Came out in the year 2000. Directed by Courtney Solomon, who is a man.
You get real hyped, eh? You're like, oh, female director. But it's like, no.
Yeah, but then it's like, because it's like a terrible film, spoilers, you're like,
What?
Oh, okay, it's
How dare you?
It's fine that it was a man.
Yeah. That's
Like, they can have another stinker.
Yeah.
Maybe we should cut that out.
Well, no, to be fair, there's a lot of shit movies directed by men, so...
Yeah.
There are more shit movies directed by men than there are shit movies directed by women.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a numbers game. Fuck. All right.
You're good. You're good.
My pop filter fell. So if you guys heard a really strong pop when I said the F word, that's why.
At least you get a pop filter.
I could have brought my own.
Yeah. And like, you
I
have
thought this is a
filter.
professional establishment or something.
Oh, don't know why I thought that.
Well, yeah, I suppose when I was told that we were recording in a closet,
It's a big closet.
Yeah. So anyway, that first film stars Jeremy Irons.
Richard, I have to know, and I've been fucking burning to find out for like 3 weeks, why the fuck is Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons? Because as far as I'm aware, he's Scar,
Yep.
and
New Alfred.
sure, and he's a lot of other things as well, I'm sure.
Very esteemed actor.
Yeah.
He's in things.
Yeah. He's also in this. Wow. Okay, so...
Unless, of course, you were saving this for later. Like, I don't want
No,
to...
I can...
Are you sure? Because I don't, you know...
I just don't want to front load the podcast with.
Do we
fun
roll
facts.
a dice now? What happened?
I should have brought my dice.
I've got mine
That is-
upstairs.
Do you want to go get them? Because
Will you guys be able to pad?
Yeah, of course. Depends how long
All
you're
right,
going to be.
you guys come up with ideas as to why Jeremy Irons was in the film.
Okay.
Kieran, what's your favourite dungeon? And I've got a follow-up question after that one.
My favourite dungeon is your one.
Thank you. And who's your favourite dragon?
My favourite dragon is my grandmother.
Oh, does she listen? Does she listen to your podcast?
Oh, no, I haven't talked to her in like 8 years.
So she probably doesn't listen to this one either.
I wouldn't have thought so, no. I could send it to her if you like.
Yeah, do it.
Just message her and be like,
Tell
hey...
her, hey, listen at 5 minutes and roughly 40 seconds.
Yeah, there's a real sick burn on you.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. Oh, wow, we did not have to pad for very long.
No.
Oh,
Jeepers.
jeepers.
My Jeepers was louder than the doors.
I can't wait to listen back to this and listen to the hilarious banter you guys came up with in my absence.
One might even say it was sick bands.
Oh, wow. What, AJ,
What
why
the-
why was that
what's-
muffled? What are you doing?
I'm drinking a Coca-Cola Zero.
Yeah, and that's right. I'm not drinking anything. I'm abstaining from fluids for the duration of this podcast.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing that.
By popular.
Oh,
well, no.
what am I drinking, Richard? Oh, thanks for asking.
have
I'm
you
just
got?
having some water.
What's the bottle brand?
It is a Camelback Shoot, and like this is not a joke. It's actually the best drink water I've ever fucking owned because the spout is perfect for my fucking thin lips, and I can get the water in.
Thin lips, thin lips.
All right.
Oh, look at his lips. They're so thin.
You guys can't see,
the
but
water doesn't
Kieran's
fall
lips
out,
are
though.
really thin.
Must be a good drink
They're
bottle.
freakishly thin. They're actually getting thinner under the pressure.
All right, so Kieran, I'm going to get you to roll this D20.
Okay.
And if you roll a 15 or higher,
Shit.
I'm going to tell you why Jeremy Irons was in the film.
Okay,
And I'll tell you otherwise. Yeah, but we'll keep rolling throughout the podcast.
Okay.
And
do I get a
I'll
bonus
withhold
or
it.
anything?
No.
Oh shit.
9.
Fuck, I got a 9.
All right. Okay, so we'll hold on to this information for a little bit longer. Okay.
Like, I really have to understand just how much I really want to know this.
So the first film stars, as I said, Jeremy Irons. Also stars Bruce Payne.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the bad guy. And Thora Birch, who was from American Beauty.
Who was he?
This is a lady.
There's a girl.
Oh, okay. I've not seen American Beauty.
Yeah, she was like,
It's got Kevin Spacey in it. It's good.
yeah. There's this like, yeah, it's very like, it's kind of, it'll be weird to watch now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Kevin Spacey's most ruined film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a scene where he like lies on top of a young boy or something?
You're not too far off.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, you're actually pretty close. Anyway, it also stars Marlon Wayans
Oh yes.
as the comic relief.
He
And there's
is in
also,
things.
he's in White Chicks.
Is he in Scary Movie?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so it's not his dad. Because I get them confused.
You're thinking of Damon Wayans. There's a Damon Wayans senior and junior.
Which one was My Wife and Kids?
That's Damon Wayans.
So that's not the same one from Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Okay.
No, the one from My Wife and Kids. Oh, no.
Welcome to the Wayans podcast, where we just talk about the different Wayans.
Yeah. And also,
This week it's White Chicks again.
there's also cameos from Richard O'Brien, who's behind the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Tom Baker, who's behind
Just Doctor Who.
A
Yeah.
big scarf.
Yeah, and he was also the narrator in Little Britain.
Oh, it's really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never watched Little Britain.
It doesn't hold up.
Definitely not.
So Kieran as the resident Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Actually, I should mention. So that's why we got you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're doing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
actually,
why I'm
no,
doing
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, not
Yeah.
why I'm on the podcast.
Yeah. So we got Kieran on.
Why am I on the podcast, Richard? Answer me that. Riddle me
Well,
that,
Roll,
Richard,
roll.
man.
He'll tell you.
Yeah, roll and I'll tell you.
Okay.
If we roll a 4 above. 17. No, where was that one roll ago? Yeah, we thought Kieran's got a podcast. It'd be fun to do a little bit of cross promotion collaboration, and then we
A little
found out
bit of Crow Pro.
Oh no, I'm not into that. my back's not strong enough for it.
but we found out that there are Dungeons and Dragons films, so we thought, hey, let's watch those.
Only natural.
So Kieran, as the resident Dungeons and Dragons expert,
Yeah.
what are these about? And I want to from me and AJ's point of view, these films are very hard to take in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the first two are about.
Okay.
I watched them sincerely, and I don't know what they're about.
I believe
They made him
that I
cry.
can remember. I may not get the names correct. In fact, I can almost guarantee that. And if there are fans of the Dungeons and Dragons movies listening,
Oh, imagine that interception of people who listen to this podcast and people who are fans of Dungeons and Dragons. They might find it because of this.
exactly,
And
they may be searching.
mortified.
Okay, so the first Dungeons and Dragons movie, Dungeons and Dragons, there's this empire, which we're going to call Ishar, because I think it starts with an I. And in the empire, there's a council of mages like that rule the land, right? And underneath them are commoners, and the commoners are subjugated and ruled by the mages. And so then Jeremy Irons is like, he's one of the mages, but he's evil, obviously. And so what he tries to do is he tries to make a rod to control dragons. But it doesn't work, obviously, because, you know, otherwise it'd be
He ends
really...
up controlling dungeons instead. It's just hilarious mishap.
This is... Whoa!
They don't do anything. I could just close doors.
Yeah, so he tries to make this rod, and, you know, he's trying to, like, lead a coup against the Empress, who is kind of like... I finally kind of justified this and said that she was like the Queen of England. You know, she's got some ceremonial power, but she doesn't actually have any real power.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, hey...
Apologies to the Queen of England if you're listening.
She's stopped listening. Dude. That was it for her.
She was like, I'm a huge fan of Dungeons & Dragons. How dare you, like, disparage these movies?
I feel like she's going to die between recording this and releasing it.
Yeah.
Any day.
If she dies, I have to go straight to work.
We'll
because-
just bleep.
As long as Charles Manson's safe and sound.
As long as Jeffrey Tambor is the lead and transparent, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So the Empress is like, hey, let's not subjugate the people, and the mages are like, fuck that noise. Give us your dragon controlling rod. And then Jeremy Irons is like, yeah, give over your dragon controlling rod. And then, you know,
Then what happens?
one thing leads to another. Plucky band of adventurers goes off to find a second dragon controlling rod to give to the Empress so that she can, you know, defend herself.
Control
against...
the dragons harder.
Yeah. Well, no, because okay, so this is a distinction here. She controls the gold dragons, but she wants to also control the red dragons.
Serious question. Legit. This isn't a meme. Serious question. Is any of this involved in the gameplay of Dungeons and Dragons, like the actual game?
Yeah, there are different colors
Okay.
and metal colors of dragons. There's
Cool.
like 10 or 12 or
Okay,
something
cool.
like that. Also, if I say anything incorrect about Dungeons and Dragons and you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, I fucking don't care. I really could get
Hey, you're not the one who gets the notification, so don't worry.
True.
We'll set up like an auto forward to
Yeah, just all the shitty comments. Yeah, so, you know, one thing leads to another. They're going to go get a second rod for the Empress. You know, wacky hijinks. Do you want me to just, like, give, like, a brief rundown of what actually happens in the film? Or just, you know, like...
I feel like you just did that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so...
What else is left?
Some shit happens. Marlon Wayans dies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They get the rod back to the Empress. There's a big CGI battle at the end. Jeremy Irons gets eaten by a dragon, and then the film basically just kind of ends after that.
It kind of just turns into a cross between, because the sky goes completely red.
Yeah.
So it turns into like a cross between Justice League and Shrek.
That is the crossover.
I want Shrek to join the Justice League.
I want the Justice League to join Shrek.
Yeah.
If I was tasked with writing a Dungeons and Dragons movie, I would not be like, you know what, we should kill off the comedic relief halfway through the film.
Yeah,
that's what this
right.
movie needs.
You know what?
Not that he was that funny, but it still was like a real downer to like kill the levity, because he dies actually at the halfway point.
Yeah.
We thought it was near the end, and it wasn't.
It wasn't. No, I was like, oh, he died. Now something really dramatic's going to happen. The movie's going to start getting resolved. There's 45 minutes to go.
And then they just disappear at the end.
Yeah, I was watching this movie, and it took me 4 nights to watch this movie as well. It was excruciating.
Yeah.
And at the end, they are. So I have to mention this. So the Empress, the entire fucking movie, has been harping on about the mages and the commoners and being like, slavery.
She won't shut up.
It is bad. Yeah, she was so annoying.
Honestly.
Also, I
Nang.
I'm going to tweet Thor a bitch.
Anyway, yeah, and so at the very, very end of the movie, off screen, she says, I now declare all classes of people to be equal. Let the celebration begin. And I'm just like, did this fucking milquetoast ass white bitch just say, racism is solved forever, and then just leave it at that.
I've done it.
I've done it. Just like, hey guys, just be equal.
Hey, everyone, go home. You're all. There's no problems
There's
in the
no
world.
problems ever anymore. And it's like, oh, damn! I wish someone had said that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the ending, they're all like standing at Marlon Wayne's grave, and they're all like, "All right, on to our next adventure," and they just hold hands and then turn into like spirits.
They watership down and out of there. Marlon Wayans' character's name was Snails, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that about it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
what were the
so-
names of literally any other character?
Jeremy Irons was Jeremy Irons. That was his actual name.
Oh, wow.
In the film.
The name of his henchman was Damodar, and I
Yeah.
only know that because he was in the second movie.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any crossover.
No, he's like the main.
He's the main bad
He's
guy.
like a huge part of the scene.
Oh no!
yeah,
I
the
thought.
blue
Do you know
guy.
what? I actually just thought they looked. The same.
right.
I thought they made terrible casting decisions and cast.
Just cast the same actor again. They're like, you're playing the same character,
No,
but he actually
what-
has a different name.
What is the hero's name in the first film? It's like a
Riley.
Riley. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Or Milk Toast, which is what I refer to him as.
So, what did you guys think of the film?
What film?
Well, the fact that
I forgot
it took
what
me
we're talking
4
about.
fucking nights to watch should say quite a lot. And this is watching it at like 1.25 speed as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the classic.
Yeah.
So, one thumb down, 2 thumbs down.
How many thumbs am I allowed?
Yeah, I wouldn't even sacrifice my thumbs for this movie.
I don't want to involve my thumbs.
Yeah, I don't want to involve any body parts.
This movie doesn't deserve to be used in the same sentence as my thumbs.
No.
No.
Anyway, yeah, the general consensus kind of agrees.
Oh, yeah.
10% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score and 19% audience score.
Man.
Well, 19%
So it's
audience
got its
score.
fans.
Wow, 20% of people liked it.
Yeah.
If there were another 2 people in this room, there's a chance that one of them would have actually liked it.
Really? I don't know maths very well. Even less than I know what these movies are about.
Well,
Hey.
then I won't turn to you for the synopsis of Dungeons and Dragons: Wrath of the Dragon God, 2005.
100 years later, right? So, 100 years later, the Empire is been at peace. But then, Damodar, as I mentioned earlier, who is the servant of Jeremy Irons, he was
Still played by Bruce Payne.
Yeah, still. I don't even know who that is. So Damodar comes back, still played by Bruce Payne. He's undead. He was cursed by Jeremy Irons, and what he does at the very start of the movie is he finds a black dragon orb, and he uses it to.
Now, this is important.
What's
Yeah.
this film called?
Wrath of the Dragon God.
Okay.
Did that sound godlike?
One of you needed to do a different pitch. So I was like,
Wrath of the Dragon God.
all right. Let's all do different pitches. You're
Okay.
going real low, you'll go real high. I'll just use my normal
Okay.
register, which is kind of low anyway. 3, 2... are we saying Dungeons and Dragons or just Wrath of the Dragon God?
Just Wrath of the Dragon.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Wrath of the Dragon God.
someone's lighting fireworks right in our backyard.
God.
We can never escape. I like that it happened as we said. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
imagine,
So now
if,
it's like-
imagine if it was a stream of fireworks as we're like Wrath of the Dragon. It's like that'd be great.
So Damodar comes back and he gets the black dragon orb, but he uses it to revive his body, and then what his ultimate plan is to revive a black dragon and use that to destroy this empire.
Yeah, and this
from
black dragon,
the first movie.
what color eyes did it have? Was it a red-eyed black dragon? For all my Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there,
Shout out to all my Yu-Gi-Oh fans.
Yeah,
you guys know who you are.
You guys. You really threw me with that question. I was desperately trying to remember because there is a scene where they're in a cave at the start of the movie, and a husband and a wife they go into the cave, and he's like, "Those aren't vents. Those are nostrils." And then he like lifts up a thing, and it's an eye, and it's like right on the eye.
And
So
they don't care.
They do not care. They're like, "Oh,
They're like, no, they're more like, oh, why'd you bring me here?
yeah." So they're
I've seen a dragon.
they're relatively unconcerned, and they run away, and then the wife.
Well, they kind of wander away.
Well, they meander away, and then the wife, who is a wizard, and is kind of cool because she does spells and shit. She does some magic shit. I'll be honest, I got a little confused here, but basically the gist of it is this ancient empire fought against the same dragon and did like a magical ritual to entrap it somehow. And she's like, we can do this as well because that dragon's going to wake up and kill everyone. And the husband's like, great fucking idea, babe. And then, so she...
Actual line from
There's
Wrath
an
of the
actual
Dragon
line,
God.
yeah, it's not very well written. And yeah, so she does some magic. It kind of backfires, but she's like, we can still solve this if we can get the orb back from Damodar. And the husband's like, great, what do we need to do? And she's like, you need to go around in a shit montage, pick up a bunch of fuckboys, and then go on a quest. And so they do. Some shit happens. I think a guy... Oh, that's right. The cleric that they pick up, he dies very unceremoniously. No one cares. They do some shit. They find Damodar. The wizard loses her arm, and then the wife is basically just like dragged through the mud for no reason. She almost dies. Some shit happens at the end, and they win.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, this was probably actually my least favourite out of all three of them.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Where would you rank it, AJ?
I can't remember it enough to speak on the subject.
Well, it was directed by Jerry Lively. Sorry, Jerry, if you were waiting for your shout out.
Is that a female? It could be Geraldine.
Maybe I didn't check that one actually. This.
Sorry.
Roll the dice.
Oh, my goodness.
plus 2 for health. So yeah, this film actually got 29% audience score, the highest rated one in the series.
What about critic score?
I don't have a critic score.
Okay.
So-
don't be silly.
And you sort of said this to me, Kieran, in private. I hope you don't mind me sharing.
Depends what you're going to share.
But this film's a lot more Dungeons and Dragons-y. Has a lot more from the game.
By far. Yes,
Yeah.
by far and away.
Yeah, and from my research, it looks like there's a lot more. I mean, I didn't understand a lot of the words that they were using, and they're talking about like dice and
When I said it was a more Dungeons and Dragons-y film, I mean like the Dungeons and Dragons film was a fantasy film that had the Dungeons and Dragons name attached to it.
Yeah.
There were maybe like a couple references to the game, whereas this one had like gods from a lot of the settings, a lot of spells from the books, and like even the bit where they sort of go around and they're like, oh, you know, he's of great wisdom, he's of great intelligence. Oh, we need someone of strength. It's like that's shit. That's a classic party from the game.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that as well, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
They each feel like more like a party.
A party of
like from a Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Whereas it's a lot less clear in the first film.
For a Dungeons and Dragons.
From Dungeons and Dragons, not Final Fantasy. What is that weeb shit?
All right, so the third film is called Dungeons and Dragons: The Book of Vile Darkness. Came out in 2012. Again,
Really,
directed
2012?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
directed by Jerry Lively, and
Modern classic.
This one for stars no one of note, not even Bruce Payne.
Even
but-
he's tapped out at this point.
Yeah, so this one's like significantly shorter. The first two are like an hour and 40 minutes. This one's like an hour and 20
Yeah, the
minutes.
first two are quite long.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And so, quickly run us through what this one's about, Kieran.
Okay, so different empire this time.
It's like a 6-minute bloody.
Yeah, it's
prologue.
so long.
It's actually 6 minutes.
There's a lot of exposition.
So yeah, you know how at the start of a lot of like these fantasy
Like
movies,
Shrek.
yeah, it'll go to like a
And Shrek
kind-
2.
yeah, like kind of like a storybook or a treasure map and
Yeah, like in Shrek 4.
long ago
And Shrek the Third.
That's actually not in
That's
Shrek
not in
the
Shrek the Third.
Fuck. Oh,
Plebe. Get out of here.
I've just embarrassed myself. Shit.
But yeah, it goes on for way too long. Imagine the Deathly Hallows scene from Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
But not as cool.
not as cool and longer than at the start of the movie.
It's actually like 6 minutes is going, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then it finally, after 6 minutes, comes up with the title.
yeah.
And
And they're like,
even
oh,
the-
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right. I forgot what I was watching.
Where am I?
Oh, yeah, well, okay. I was watching Shrek 5. Okay, yeah, what's this one about?
Wow, Shrek's gritty reboot that I've always craved.
It's coming out.
So,
It exists.
Whether you like it or not,
Whether you like it or not,
you're getting it.
it's happening.
I was gonna do like a Logan riff, but with Shrek, but it's already called Shrek.
Yeah, right, I get you. It could be called Ogun.
Oh, wow. Well, that was the end of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, there's no point continuing. That's the peak of comedy.
You don't. You just.
You still have layers. All right.
Okay, so anyway, this is sorcerer, right? Don't remember what his name is. Something beginning with N. He makes a deal with a demon to get some power. Oh, no, it's really not important. It doesn't fucking matter.
It begins with N.
It begins with N.
Let's move on.
Yeah. It's like Neil or something like that. So Neil makes a deal with a demon. And
Neil makes the deal.
Neil makes the deal.
They actually call him Neil the Deal.
Neil of the deal. So Neil of
He's just
the
going
deal.
around kneeling and dealing.
Just kneeling and dealing. Yeah, so Neil makes a deal with the demon, and the demon's like, I'll give you power, and Neil's like, sounds dope. So he gets a whole bunch of power, and then what he does is he gets too powerful.
Yep.
And then Palor, the god of the sun, is like, don't do that, please.
Honey.
No, girl, you can't do that. And so this order of knights rise up against him. They kill him. And so what they do, because it's fantasy, what they do is they use his skin to make a book, and they use his bones to bind the book, and they use his blood to write in the book.
No. They used his skin to make the pages. They used his bones to make the cover. And I was like, cover's not a very fantasy word. So, like, I know you're describing a book.
Sorry, I by instinct said binding.
Binding.
It is a fantasy word.
It would be like the binding, but it's like the cover.
The cover.
They used his blood to write the blurb.
The table of contents.
The Ford was by.
The dust jacket was made from his eyeballs.
Even dust jacket is kind of more badass.
Yeah. Anyway, so they make this book, and then it gets destroyed and it gets spread across the land. For some reason they specify that the blood is destroyed.
I know why. They couldn't be bothered dealing with it, because that'd be your first question. The blood sounds like the most powerful part of this
Book of Vile Darkness, one might say.
Yeah, and
if someone were to assign such a name.
Yeah. So like the writers are like, oh, but people are going to want them to go after the blood, because obviously that's the best part, and they're like, just say it's destroyed. They got it.
Very lazy dungeon master.
Oh goodness gracious me! Let me friggin' tell you about these movies. Not right now though. So the thing is destroyed, and then we basically go to the order of knights that were mentioned previously in the 6 minutes, and so basically it turns out that there's been peace for ages. The knights aren't really needed anymore. They don't have a lot of power, and one of them is like, he's getting inducted into the order. He tries to get the power of Palor. It doesn't work, obviously, because he doesn't have the faith. And his dad's like, chin up, kiddo, and he's like, fuck you, old man. And then everyone dies because they get attacked by a party of evil people. And he's like, I gotta find my dad. And then he, for some reason, knows a prostitute. And then
sex worker.
Sex worker.
Escort.
He knows an escort, a lady of the night, a woman of good repute.
Talks to her in the day, though.
Yeah, talks to her in the day. Yeah,
Confused.
I want to make that clear. The scene takes place during the day.
During the day, yes. And so he's like, "Hey, you were just talking to those evil people, right?" And she's like, what about it? And he's like, well, I gotta find my dad.
What of it?
What of it? And yeah, so she takes him to this guy who is like kind of pedophile looking, and he gives him a bunch of magic items, and they're all really evil sounding as well. And he picks up a bunch of shit that you could find in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which is a book that you can buy to play the game.
That's cool.
Available now from Wizards of the Coast. This episode brought to you by Wizards of the Coast.
Our first sponsor.
Oh, it's not actually. Sorry.
Fuck you, Wizards.
No,
we officially do not endorse, what is it? Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the Coast. I do officially endorse Wizards of the Coast. And if anyone from Wizards of the Coast is listening, please contact me about my other podcast, not this one.
This isn't your podcast. you're a guest here.
Oh, shit. Yeah, and so then he basically hooks up with these evil adventurers. They go around. It's very edgelordy and like, late 2000s, and they do a bunch of evil crap, and then some stuff happens. He gets kidnapped. He has, there's some sex scenes. There's two real hot sex scenes. There is an orgy.
They're back to back as well.
They're back to back.
Just say they rolled the dice and got
69.
Thank you.
Could you not think of
I don't know what the punchline to this dice related.
You're like, oh my god, what's a sexy number? Shit.
88 because it looks like two pairs of boobs.
They rolled a dice and got a menage a trois.
It's like a menage a 9.
Yeah, there were heaps of them.
Yeah, and it was all in glorious 240p as well. Yeah. So you're just like, what is okay.
Yeah. It's literally like you see like a couple of shadows, and you're like, oh, it's flesh-colored shadows, and you're like, wait a minute,
It's a nipple-shaped shadow. There's two of them.
There's like 3, 4. Yeah, and then it cuts to like a wide, and there's just like they're like lying, and there's like these at least 4 girls like lying in a circle. They're all naked, and then this one guy that like is lying on his back, and he has his hands kind of up in the air, and is like going.
The reason why this is relevant is because the other 2 movies don't even come close to being sexual. So like, this really stood out.
And then it cuts to a new scene, and he's talking to the woman, and she comes in. She's like, "You saved my life as." Culture dictates. You may now ravage me as you see fit.
Yeah,
Ravish.
Ravish?
Ravish,
I
yeah.
thought she said ravage.
I thought she said ravage. Both would make sense.
I feel like ravish is more like row. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of interesting that it was like ravage, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's like
All right.
I was like, oh, okay, medieval.
You may
times.
destroy.
You can fucking just wreck the shit however you want.
See all these crops and villages? Burn that shit to the ground. Steal all of my seal skins and then jump back on that fucking longboat, boy.
I'm sure the Dungeons and Dragons fans are just
There's
beside themselves.
tears in their eyes.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, classic. And then they actually have a surprisingly erotic sex scene.
Yeah.
The scene between them is very...
It's like loving.
It is very loving. It is very sort of domination heavy, and I was like, this is a little bit sexy. And then they actually have sex, and I was like, it's also a little bit sexy.
Yeah.
And then the scene ends, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. I'm actually watching this movie.
Yeah, it gives you heart a stiffy.
Yeah. I was, one might say, turgid, even.
My heart was turgid.
My heart was turgid.
That dungeoned my dragon.
Oh, you say like your dungeon was your dragon was no longer.
Let's just
in its
say I have
dungeon.
my own book of vile dungeons now.
I tugged a couple of times, and then, there was the wrath of the dragon god.
Continue.
Anyway.
Sorry if this podcast is becoming overtly like not what you're into.
And so they have sex basically, and then they carry on, and then this is kind of the point where our main character, whose name is honestly not important, he decides to kind of start turning against his friends. He kills. So there's an assassin. There's a necromancer kind of guy, the wizard that he had sex with, who is a woman, by the way. It's not progressive enough to have a gay relationship. And then there's like a barbarian, and what he does
and she like gives herself up
Yeah,
for sex.
she's a sexual object.
She is a sexual object. Yeah.
Which is wrong, which is bad.
It is in 2012. Was right on the cusp of the new wave.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So they carry on, and our good boy, he gets real upset. So he kills the barbarian that's traveling with them, who was having the orgy. Yeah, he does. He straight murders him. And then the assassin's like, "Where's the barbarian? I bet it was you." And he was like, "Nah, fuck you. I bet it was you." So the assassin gets killed as well. And he they carry on, and then comes possibly the most uncomfortable scene I've ever seen in any movie. What they've basically done is they've retrieved like an orb or something, and they need to get it back to the guy who's trying to reassemble the Book of Vault. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. So they're trying to get into the Shadow Realm or something, where like Yugi and Joey are.
Sorry, Jimbo. I'm going to have to send you to the Shadow Realm. Continue.
Welcome to Meme Cast. Occasionally we like to dabble in just obscure memes.
And so they're standing there, and the wizard turns over this like stone head, and then an undead child appears, and she says it's hungry and it needs to suck the bad or the darkness out of you. Let's just say.
I just want to say, in terms of like the effects they used on it, it looked kind of creepy. It was a cool looking monster.
Yeah, it was like a weird. It didn't really have a face. It just had like a mouth going from like. It's like Pac-Man, but with like this giant tongue coming out,
and it had like it was real skinny as well, like creepily skinny.
Yeah,
because it's hungry.
And you know, and I will just reach under the table here, and you can't see obviously, but I'm putting on a wizard hat. That's my Dungeon Mastering hat.
Okay.
The idea.
You actually wear one when you do it.
Fuck no, God. The idea. It was a podcast joke. Just roll with it.
Okay, oh, sorry. The hat I can see.
Yeah.
It's so colourful.
Oh, thanks, guys. I worked really hard on it.
Green?
Yeah, it is. And so like the idea of having your party trying to like get into like a forbidden realm by confessing like dark secrets is really interesting in terms of like a role playing kind of mechanic. But this undead child just sucks on their fingers, and it is unpleasant.
And it
to say
goes
the
for quite a while.
It's for a really long time.
A little bit of context for me as well. I got on a plane. I got up at 5:45 this morning to get on a plane that ended up getting delayed till 8:15, and so I'm very tired the whole day. I'm falling asleep on the couch watching this movie, and that scene comes up, and I'm like, "Is this Dungeons and Dragons, or am I having a creepy sex dream? Like, what is happening?"
But like the main character and the wizard girl, they both get their fingers sucked for just like a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
The necromancer who's still with them, he gets his finger sucked for like a good.
He goes back for seconds.
Yeah, like he goes,
And then he licks his finger
It's
afterwards.
so. Oh my god! I can't believe how fucking weird it is.
If you want to see what we're talking about, the Book of Wild Darkness is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It's at an hour and 2 minutes into the film.
Yeah, Richard messaged me while I was watching the movie, and he's like, "It gets real weird at a minute too." And I was
hour
like,
or two.
"An hour or two." Well, it gets kind of weird at a minute too. As well. And he's like, "Gets
When
real."
you're 1/6 of the way through the explanation.
And and I was like, "Oh, sweet!" Like it'd be like a trippy kind of sequence. It's like, nah. It's
No, there's a little girl
uncomfortable.
that fillets their fingers.
Oh my god.
That's what happens.
Oh, it's and shit. The little girl's obviously enjoying it as well.
Yeah,
It's-
well, she's feeding.
She's hungry, dude.
She's hungry. God. Hey. Anyway, so they go inside the.
Oy vey.
So they go inside the shadow realm. Jafar!
Who's that?
Is it Iago?
Gilbert Gottfried, yeah.
Yeah, good
Gilbert,
one.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Nice.
Like Gilbert Gottfried impression only because it's a one word.
Jafar!
See, now you have to do your Gilbert Gottfried impression.
What? Give me something.
No, you just have to say
Jafar!
Oh my god, that was not it at all.
Jafar! Jafar!
I feel like I could do it if I was saying something other than Jafar, but let's move on.
So they go in the Shadow Realm. The main character, he saves his dad, and his dad's like, "You've become corrupted." And he's like, "No, I haven't." And he pulls
No.
out. He's like, "No, you
Shut up, you.
shut up,
You have.
And he's like, "I didn't ask to be born." And he runs to his room.
You're not my dad.
That was the twist at the end. He's actually adopted. And so he whips out his payload amulet, kills a bunch of guys. The necromancer pops out of nowhere, beats him up. He gets kidnapped. At the very end of the movie, the wizard, the main character's getting his blood extracted. Because the blood was destroyed at the start of the movie,
Sure.
as you'll obviously remember.
His blood isn't quite vile, though.
Yeah, but that's what makes
They're
it
putting
good.
it into a vial.
Yeah.
They're viling the blood.
Yeah, they're vialing the blood because they're like, he's pure and uncorrupted or something. He's not. He's killed people at this point. And so then at the very end, the wizard lady, she magics up his amulet, gives it to him, and he destroys them all, and the movie ends.
It
Yeah,
happens
and
very
she
fast.
Very
buggers
quickly.
off back to Waverly Place.
Yeah, it's weird how she didn't die at the end.
Yeah.
Literally everyone else died. Other
She's a
than
love interest.
that's fair.
Yeah. Well, so this film, 25% audience score.
This was my favourite one. And I think it's because...
Of
like,
the nudity.
Well, no, it wasn't
the
just-
titties.
it was more that the terrible writing and like flimsy sex and like two-dimensional characters felt like this was a story being constructed by a 14-year-old boy around a Dungeons and Dragons table.
Right.
Like,
Right,
this is
yeah,
the
yeah,
most. This one's the ones that feels like you're watching the movie of a game that some kids are
Right,
playing.
yeah, because it starts off with him being like, "This is really important, guys," and just talks for like 6 months, and then gets boring, and he's like, "And then boobies,
Yeah.
and 9 boobies."
And she's all like, "You may ravish me."
And they're like, Ravage?
Yes.
But you know that makes sense because then it's like.
And then you lie on top of her and you
Yeah.
sort of move around a lot, and then it feels really good on your penis.
And when they're done, he has scratch marks on his chest because she's so wild. And again, that's a very middle school, early high school idea
not
of
at
what
all
happens in sex.
like implied by the sex that was being had that he would have scratch marks.
No, yeah, exactly. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point, AJ, actually.
Which makes
So
it...
you liked the fact that it had the voice of a 14-year-old boy.
I'd also like to point out here that if this movie had the voice of a 14-year-old boy, does that mean that when you were 14 years old, you wanted little girls to suck your fingers?
No, I didn't. I'm not the character that's telling the
okay,
story.
right.
But
I got confused.
All the ideas are in it are very, very, like, indicative of either I don't know how to tell a story, but
I don't know how human bodies work.
yeah, and my penis is hard. How do I
What do I do with
how
it?
do I make art out of this?
Yeah, like
You just put it on a canvas.
yeah. like
I was more imagining like a,
just like a sad drop. Anyway, do you want to roll again and we can 15 or higher and we can see if we can find out why Jeremy Irons took the role.
Oh man, I got a 3. Jeez,
all right. Okay. So we'll hold on to that for a wee while. So yeah, the second two I forgot to mention they're considered straight to TV or straight to DVD, but the second one got like a limited theatrical release. And
did the first one get a theatrical release?
The first one got
like an actual theatrical release.
Yeah, it was huge.
Huh.
biggest movie of 2000.
So the second one.
What is the biggest movie of 2000?
The Matrix? No, not the Matrix.
Matrix was 99.
Biggest. You guys paired.
All right, yeah. So, what'd you think of the third one? We didn't really ask. So, like, would you rate it 2 thumbs up or 1 thumbs up?
I would rate it. I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd rate it 2 thumbs down. They're all 2 thumbs down. Why don't we watch good movies for this podcast? We never watch like movies I'm excited about. We just watch terrible ones.
Biggest movie of 2000 was Mission Impossible 2, followed by Gladiator, Castaway, and What Women Want.
Oh, What Women Want.
What Women Want? Yeah, actually,
Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
love
turns
that guy.
Oh man, it's a good thing his career never went something weird.
Well, it's interesting. What Women Want. It's like this rom-com. It's like like pro-woman kind of thing. Turns out what they want is to fuck Mel Gibson. That's the plot of the entire movie.
I'll be honest. I'm not even a woman, and like, I would fuck Mel Gibson.
Yeah, from 2000s.
From 17 years ago, that is, not when he's an anti-Semite.
Yeah. Well, I think he was always an anti-Semite.
No, true.
No, he just became one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
After watching Dungeons and Dragons.
After watching Dungeons and Dragons, he's like, you know what? I blame the Jews for these movies.
All right. Well, so the first film, this is a little fun little thing, was actually nominated for several awards at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards.
Oh, you
guys.
Richard.
So
I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
So it was nominated for Worst Picture, but it lost to Battlefield Earth.
Well, that's fair.
It was nominated for Worst Sense of Direction, which is a great way of putting that. Lost to Roger Christian for Battlefield Earth. Jeremy Irons was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor, and he lost to Tom Green for Charlie's Angels and Road Trip.
But not Freddie Got Fingered?
No, well, he's a lead in that.
Ah, true.
Thora Birch was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. She lost to Alicia Silverstone for Love's Labour's Lost. The entire cast was nominated for Worst On-Screen Group, but lost to the Cyclos and Man Animals from Battlefield Earth.
I just can't believe this had a theatrical release. It's not good enough. Like, from a technical standpoint, this movie's not good enough to be released in theaters.
I don't know. There's some pretty shit movies out there.
Have you seen Justice League?
Yeah, actually, the CGI is not that much better. Hey-o!
And you're actually right as well. It was nominated for Most Intrusive Musical Score, but lost to Gone in 60 Seconds. It was nominated for Least Special Effects, lost to Battlefield Earth. It was nominated for Most Unfunny Comic Relief, and the nomination says Marlon Wayans as Jar Jar Binks in Dungeons and Dragons. That lost to Tom Green and Charlie's Angels and Road Trip.
Is it better or worse that it lost these awards? Does it make it a better or worse movie?
It's a better movie.
It makes it a better movie.
But
I think the strengths of the movie really, come through when you compare it to Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Battlefield Earth?
No, I've never seen that.
3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, it's got 10%, so, what does that say?
Movie.
What does that say?
Yeah. Also, just a lot of fun for listeners out there. Some other nominations in that ceremony. 102 Dalmatians got nominated for Worst Supporting Actor for Gerard Depardieu, Worst On-Screen Couple for Gerard and Glenn Close, Most Painfully Unfunny Comedy, Dig a Dog, was nominated for Worst Song. And it was also nominated for the sequel no one was clamouring for. Also nominated that year for Most Unwelcome Direct-to-DVD release, Beethoven's Third and Land Before Time, Stone of Cold Fire were both nominated.
For goodness sake.
Slander.
It's like the culmination of this entire podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, but they lost to The Extreme Adventures of Super Dave, which was the most unwelcome direct-to-DVD release.
Oh, yeah, that movie.
Yeah.
Nothing like the sequels that followed it either.
But it's pretty interesting because, I'd never heard of the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards. It's now defunct, I think. No. That was like the 43rd.
I assume it's just been replaced by the Razzies.
Yeah, well, the Razzies have been around for longer than...
Does anybody hate the Razzies? They're so stupid.
They are, yeah.
They are
tell you,
very stupid.
Like they're supposed to be this like response to what a circle jerk the Oscars are, but the reason is way more circle jerky.
Yeah.
Like it's never actually the worst thing. It's just like Adam Sandler. Dumb.
Yeah, and like I remember, and I don't know, and I don't mean to. Please don't mistake this for a fervor for this movie, but like I remember Walter Mitty was nominated for worst movie, and I was like, whatever you think of that movie, it's not in that territory. I don't know. It annoys me. As an
Is
example.
Walter Mitty the one where he has like the midlife crisis and he kind of goes around the world?
Yeah, The Secret Life of Walter.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I cried at the end of that movie. I thought it was very good.
Referring back to the start about Kieran revealed to me today that he cries at every movie.
Really?
There's not what I said, but to be honest, it is pretty close.
I'm jealous. I wish I could.
I do cry at
I wish I
at
could
a
feel
lot of
emotions,
movies.
dude.
Did you cry in Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, when it started, yeah. When I realised what it was going to be.
okay.
Yeah.
Cried with happiness at the end
Yeah.
when all the spirits went away.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was the last movie you cried at?
The last movie that I cried at. Oh, gosh.
You're gonna get them all revealed throughout the.
That's a good question, actually. What is the last movie I cried at?
Wreck-It Ralph nearly made me tear up.
Someone at work actually. said-
Yeah, someone at work said Wreck-It Ralph, but straight off the bat as well.
Yeah.
Like no,
Like he was proud of it.
Yeah, it's when he's flying back down to the earth.
Yeah, and
with
he's
the
like,
punches.
I'm not bad, and
Yeah.
that's good. And
yeah. I actually have no idea. Can I just list the last piece of media that I cried at?
Yeah.
Okay, so I listened to the soundtrack to a musical called "Come From Away," which was I did not realize at the time about 9/11, which
which AJ loves.
That's an old one. Haven't brought up that in a while.
Yeah, it's like a running joke from the end of last year, start of this year, that AJ just like loves 9/11. I don't know how it started.
wow,
I legitimately am really interested in 9/11 stuff. That's how it started.
Right, yeah.
Wow,
And then
what
it
a-
just turned into AJ loving 9/11.
just loves 9/11. So anyway, so this musical is about 9/11. It's about when all the flights got diverted from the US airspace. They all get diverted to Newfoundland, which is an island off the coast of Canada. And so like 17,000 people, something ridiculous like that, end up on an island that only has a population of about 7,000. They all welcome the people in, and I was walking on my way home, finishing it off, crying my fucking eyes out because it was so sad. It was,
That's great, man.
It was so good. I loved it.
Yeah, and that doesn't make you any less of a man.
No, I didn't say it did.
No, I'm not saying it did. AJ?
I didn't say anything. I said that was cool. I said I wish I could cry.
Yeah, no, I
Crying's fucking great. It feels
oh my
real
God.
good afterwards.
Do you guys want to cry?
I can't.
Oh, yeah, neither really.
I could probably summon a couple of tears if I really tried.
Yeah, I think probably the last movie I cried at would have been maybe Big Fish, but like 2 watches of it ago.
Yeah, so you said you really enjoyed that movie.
Oh my God, it's so good. We watched it together, haven't we?
I've seen Big Fish.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Kieran?
I've actually not seen Big Fish. No.
Oh my God.
We're watching it tonight.
It is on my list of movies that I do need to see. So
Yeah.
one day.
Well, what was the last movie you cried at? Not you, the audience.
You looked at me.
I was looking during
I was just like, I was really confused. I was like, why are you asking him again? He's already said. Don't shame him further.
Yeah, no, anyone? Let us know the last movie you cried at.
Yeah.
That's a fun little way to interact with the audience.
Or if you can't think of the last movie that you cried at, like me, just tell me what the last piece of media you cried at.
Just tell me how to make you cry.
Yeah, just tell me what makes you sad. Think of your saddest memory.
Please write in the comments something that makes you sad, even just writing about.
Send us
start.
Send us pictures of you crying.
Yeah, send us pictures of you crying. I like that.
Yeah, send us videos of you crying.
Yeah, everyone comment a picture of you crying.
Hashtag sulk popture.
All right, well,
That was I'm really proud of that.
Let's bring it back.
Okay.
And so, obviously, we've been talking a lot about crying, but these movies didn't make everyone sad. And so I pulled out some positive reviews or like comments on these films. I thought we could sort of, I'll throw them out there. We can have a bit of discussion.
Should we roll the dice to find out about Jeremy Irons?
Yeah, actually.
Can I have another opportunity?
20.
Yeah, natural twin, bitch.
All right.
I
Okay.
kind of wish you didn't get that.
Okay, I would like to say
I would have
here,
ruined the segue.
I would like to say here, in the game of Dungeons and Dragons, a natural 20 is the best result you can possibly get.
Cool.
So, if you've got anything extra, bust it out right now.
For those listening, I just got my penis out.
Oh, wow. I thought it was just a fucking German salami.
Because it's so red. All right.
Because it's spicy and imported.
All right, so
And it's
Jeremy
a little
Irons.
string cage as well.
Jeremy Irons was asked, why did you do this movie?
Tied it a knot at the end.
And I'm not going to try and do a Jeremy Irons voice, but he was asked why he did this. And he said,
Who the fuck is that?
this is Alan Rickman.
No, that's my okay. Jared, Scar. He didn't even say Scar.
Father, son.
You do.
thing.
You're great. You do it.
He said, are you kidding? I just bought a castle. I had to pay for it somehow. And so he
bought a castle?
He legit had just bought Kilcoe Castle in Ireland.
Was there a dungeon?
In 1998, he built it. Him and his wife built it. It was built in the castle
He didn't,
itself.
sorry, he didn't just buy a castle. He built a castle.
So he bought a castle.
He should be starring in the
him and his
Settlers of
wife
Catan movie.
bought a castle in 1998, and the castle was built in around 1450.
Wow.
And he spent 6 years restoring it, and it's cost like over £1 million to do it. But he legitimately bought this castle. Was like, I need to just take a fucking paycheck because otherwise I can't afford to fix this castle. But he actually
He had to be prepared to stoop pretty low.
yeah.
Just went to his agent and was like, whatever you can get, I gotta pay for this castle, please.
I don't know if you got mine.
Yeah, I don't think you got
I
it.
think that.
No, I wasn't. I was honestly. I was
no.
looking,
Be prepared is the song from the Lion King.
oh, sorry. I was actually looking at the giant panther that's on the curtain behind you, and I was actually momentarily.
Oh my God, John Panther! All right, no.
I was legitimately distracted.
But it's interesting. So, like, when I first looked up the movie, and I it's the first piece of IMDb trivia is what is his quote. But looking it up again today, he spoke about buying this castle on Seth Meyers 6 days ago. There's more
Maybe he owns more than one castle.
No, it's like there's one thing that he spent a large portion of his life and a large majority of his wealth restoring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you go visit it, or does he live in it?
I'm actually not sure.
Huh.
Yeah. Or if you got Jeremy Irons' website has a section. It's same with Sam Neill, how his his website's Two Paddocks, which is his winery. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I'm not sure if
Do you think if you go to Jeremy Irons' castle, all the shrubbery and wildlife is dead around it, and he's yeah.
Because Jeremy Irons is a bad person.
No, because when Scar took over Pride Rock, the shrubbery died. Have you seen The Lion King?
What's the Lion King?
It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but with lions.
Oh wow! Oh, that sounds great. I should watch that.
It's called Lions and
Kings. Yeah. The Lion.
Anyway, so I found some good reviews
Also,
and comments.
I have seen the Lion King. I have seen the Lion King. I have actually seen the Lion King.
I have seen the Lion King.
I like Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
So I found some good reviews of these films. I thought, I could throw them out there.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm playing with the coins. We have a big pile of coins on the table.
Tell them again.
Have we ever actually mentioned that?
I'm sure we
There's a big pile of coins in the middle of the table, and when we get people on, I mean, Kieran obviously podcasted before, but when we get people on, they were don't touch the table, don't go like this.
I have been leaning on the table the whole time. So sorry.
And they
No,
were and
leaning's
also
fine.
resist the temptation to touch the massive pile of coins in the middle of the table.
It makes people concentrate on the conversation.
Because just don't focus on the coins. Anyway, so from IMDb, Exploding Media Inn opens their 10-star review with this line.
Wait, is this the first one, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
They say, is this a quality film? No, it is not.
It's not
Is this
10
a well-made
stars,
film?
That's fair.
No, it is not.
That's also
But
true.
is it entertaining? That's really a matter of opinion.
Well, that's not a 10 star.
And mine is yes, it is.
That's not 10
It's
stars.
not a 10-star
They,
review.
they go on to
This
talk
isn't
about-
even a good bad movie.
No.
This is a movie you watch and you're like, ugh.
I was hoping when Richard was like, let's do the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I was like, sweet, I heard they're all terrible.
Yeah.
We're all going to have a great time laughing at these terrible movies. They're boring.
Yeah, they're boring.
They are badly made movies, and they're boring.
Yeah. The next comment I found, this is from YouTube, because all these movies are entirely on YouTube. But some in Russian, some have weird audio and shit. But anyway, Titania and Bottom Midsummer Night says, this movie is too much underrated. It's not a great one indeed, but in our current days, they're filming movies of series be much worse than Dungeons and Dragons, of course.
You know what?
Agreed.
I can't help but agree with that. They really got the nail just on the head there.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a great one. So Sandra Dominguez called Gwez, writes this on YouTube, and the first letter of every word is capitalized on this. Yeah, I think he's not from Happy Days. That's for white people, not for black people, because as some there are American people wear skin. So obviously that doesn't make a lot of sense. So for clarification, she replied to her owed comment saying, "Killer Clowns is gay. I seening that guy name's George. He gay, he loves boys. They telling 2 jokes. I call it fuck Donald Trump."
Wow.
Thoughts on that?
Well, obviously, I can't help but agree with the very last portion of that.
I feel like that's better than the dialogue in these movies, though.
Yeah, I actually found another comment from her, which might clear things up even more. Marlon Wayans, he not from Happy Days. This is again, the first letter is capitalized. He's an African American actor, but he gay. He like his boyfriends Robin Gibb and Robert Downey Jr. because some men's get married with men's. They're gay. I think there are Americans actors, 1 a black guy and 2 are white guys, some be gay. Them are American people wear some skin. Happy Days that for white people is not for black people because it's for kids, teen, and adults that for everybody wear some American black/white. Like, I know that those are all words, but
How do you get through that sentence and go, yeah, that's fine? It's like the has anyone ever been as far as to do look more like? Remember that one?
Yeah.
It was a meme from ages ago.
that was a meme. That's a classic meme.
Yeah, it was like, so someone, I'll have to look it up, but basically they were trying to say, have there ever been graphics that have looked as good as this?
yeah.
And they said...
They just stroked out like halfway through the sentence.
But yeah, like you said, like, how can a person actually like say that? How can someone say such rubbish?
They said, they wrote, has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like? And someone replied to it and said, I hope it's on the... Oh, no, your meme, you're letting me down, man.
Oh, what did I say? What's your Wi-Fi so I can bring up this list that I wrote?
Okay, it's the Wi-Fi is called Tell My Wi-Fi I Love Her. You probably can't get it down here.
No.
I'll try that Huawei one. And the password is 1 word all caps, but there's spaces between all the words and it's all lowercase.
So what?
So the password is 1 word all caps, but everything's lowercase and there's spaces between the words. That's correct.
Okay.
But again, we're in this little dungeon like a couple of dragons, and we probably won't be able to get Wi-Fi down here. How are we going on that meme, AJ?
Someone replied to it and said, "You've got to be kidding me. I've been further even more decided to use even go need to do look more as anyone can. Can you really be far even as decided half as much to use go wish for that?"
Nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, on the next sort of list of comments I've got, on Wrath of the Dragon God from IMDb, Apps by Aaron writes, "This movie is the best adaptation of D&D of all time. There's an interview with the creator of D&D and he loved it, and I thought that all the characters were spot on. I agree 100%. The only thing I have an issue with is the slow pace of the party as they are going on horseback to the goblin camp. There was supposed to be the essence of time was supposed to be of the essence, and here they are on an afternoon stroll. I love the use of hand gestures with some of the spellcasting. I also thought the special effects were very well done and appropriate. Nothing was over the top."
I mean, I disagree, but I'm not going to make fun of the review. It's well written.
Right,
I'd say that one was at least in English. But I would like to say here, he says the creator of Dungeons and Dragons approved this movie. The creator of Dungeons and Dragons is now also dead. Is that a coincidence? I will leave that for you to decide.
What's his name?
Gary Gygax.
You said it both. What?
Gary Gygax.
Gygax.
Gary Gygax. Jafar.
But I think it seems that the special effects were appropriate, not overdone. I'd agree they weren't overdone. I don't think they were done.
They were not done.
They weren't
enough.
finished.
Yeah, no.
The greatest thing, I mean, the special effects weren't overdone. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Wow, this just looks too good.
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
like
too
it.
realistic.
Yeah.
And I like this one because it comes from Westeros Wolf 1327, which I understand is a Game of Thrones reference.
Is it? What is that show?
I haven't watched it, so.
Yeah.
Full disclosure,
It's a-
I've actually never watched anything other than these 3 movies.
But they said, until I watched this movie, I was not a huge fantasy lover.
But I just had to create an account after.
This was definitely more dramatic and dark than the first movie. The acting was good, especially Bruce Payne, who rocks as Damodar. Special effects were cool as well. This is one of sci-fi's best fantasy movies. I remember when I was 15, I watched this and I really liked it.
Are these sci-fi movies? Like SYFY?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, maybe, I don't know. The person just said they are.
Oh, all right.
Maybe you should have figured that out in your research, but that's fine.
Damn. Wow. Should I leave? Or?
So
Please, yeah.
this is the most awkward moment we've ever had while recording a podcast. People in our immediate friend group will know that's not true.
No, that's not true.
Oh my gosh.
That would have peaked real high. I'm so sorry.
So, and on the Book of Vile Darkness from IMDb, Inkipp from Finland, it has in brackets that they're from Finland, writes, I really do not understand the low scores on this movie. Yes, it is low budget, and yes, it lacks the shine of those expensive movies, so the plot is okay. Love story is more realistic than in many other movies. Even the characters are believable. I usually find many annoyances in films, even the best ones. But what's very weird is nothing really annoyed me in this one.
That is very weird.
That is strange.
I have played D&D games and many other RPGs, but I don't think that's of any relevance. This is a decent movie for all
Don't bring it up then.
who like these sword and magic fantasy flicks. For a low-budget movie, even the CG effects are very successful, and there's some eye candy in the form of a gothic hot chick, Wink D. I had somewhat low expectations for this one, and I was very pleasantly surprised. So, out of 10 for this one, and thanks to other who have commented, wouldn't have watched it without you. If you are into these kind of movies, try it. You might be surprised too.
Wouldn't have watched it without you. What a strange thing to say. I mean,
Maybe he was scared of watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, it sounds too intense for me. It sounds too crazy. And everyone's like, no. Finland guy, do it.
Finland?
Finland guy from Finland, do it.
Yeah. I didn't realize IMDb had such a friendly community like that.
It does. You know what? This
Tell me
episode
more.
brought to you. Ooh, this episode brought to you by IMDb's community. Go join.
Yeah.
Stop saying our episodes are...
Go
It's
to
not your podcast.
Go to www.imdb.com/cultpop to get 10% off your IMDb.
Like it's not of the price. It just removes 10% of the info.
Shave. No, it's just you load the web page and it's just 10% smaller.
It's aimed a bit...
And so just a couple more from YouTube. Bohemian MGTOW says, this was damn good. I expected it to be cheesy and some of the special effects kind of were, but the story was first rate and the acting was spot on. This is hands down one of the best fantasy films I've ever seen. I mean, it would even hold up to Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's just a fucking lie.
Wow.
Wow, that was.
I don't know if I can take any more of these.
Okay,
Jack.
I've got two more, and these ones just shorter.
Well, we've got terrible news because
Audacity writes,
kids.
halfway through, it's already 1,000 times the quality of any of the other movies. Now, when they say of the other movies, do you think they just mean like of the movies?
in the world.
Yeah,
All the movies in the
Yeah,
world. Yeah, probably.
Just like as in I'm going to the movies. And so the last one comes from Sex God 6909, who says,
Oh, this must have been from me then.
and they said, "Oh my god, the lead guy is so fucking sexy," and sexy has 3 X's, and just goes to show when we can objectify men as well.
Yeah, that was my comment. I guess I have to stick with my initial premise of that joke.
I mean, I guess he
Because
was
we're all
kind of
about
a piece,
equality,
but you know,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put 3 X's in my sexy, but
I put 3 X's in all my sexies.
Yeah, that's where you're going wrong, Richard.
well, maybe that's just why I can't cry.
As soon as you put that third X in, you just can't handle it anymore.
Yeah. So Kieran puts 10 X's in. That's why he's so emotional all the time. Anyway, you had a thing.
I did actually. Yes.
Oh, a thing?
So I was talking to Richard, obviously, and I was like,
Obviously,
because I have to. We work together. So, do you want me to not do this? Are you running out of time? Like, no. You guys both keep looking at the clock.
I thought it was like.
Well, I have to look at it, make sure it's still recording.
I thought it said it had been going for an hour and 40 minutes,
Oh, wow.
but it hasn't. So
no,
that's why I was like, "What?
What? Jafar!
Not that I would stop the recording." Anyway,
yeah, so we were talking because we worked together, and I was like, the last two movies, they're a lot more Dungeons and Dragons-y. And he was like, what do they get wrong?
I was like, Kieran, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? So I put together a quick list off the top of my head because there was no fucking way I was going to watch these movies twice. Things.
God, no.
This is a small list entitled "Things Wrong with the Dungeons and Dragons films when it comes to actual Dungeons and Dragons." Now, again, if I get anything wrong here, don't fucking talk to me.
Well, don't set up. You have on this huge pedestal now.
I'm just putting it out there. So, okay, number one, dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, dragons are very intelligent, and they're not controlled by rods, and they don't just fly around and blow shit up. They're incredibly intelligent, and they have their own goals and motivations. And like when they show up, they talk, and they do interesting shit. They talk, yeah. They talk. They can shapeshift and do all kinds of cool shit.
Do they have Benedict Cumberbatch's voice?
Yes, all of them do. It is they're dragons, so they're really smart and they can figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so number two, the girl in the first film. So this is a real
Thora Birch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you call it?
Thora Birch. That's the actress's name.
Oh.
But funnily enough, Thora Birch sounds like a made-up Dungeons and Dragons
It sounds like a wizard name. So, okay, so this really bothered me. At the very start of the movie, Marlon Wayans and Milquetoast, they come into the magic school, and she casts a spell to like wrap them up in a magic rope.
Oh, yeah.
And then pulls them along, and then she casts another couple spells later.
Oh, that wasn't Thora Birch. Sorry, this is the other girl.
All right, yeah. Anyway.
I just don't want to get the information wrong for people watching.
Yeah, for people who have watched the films.
People who've watched the films, yeah. The Finland guy. And then, over the course of the entire rest of the film, she never casts any more spells. She's not a wizard. They keep saying that she's a wizard.
Maybe she just knows that one spell.
Well, I see. Now AJ, you've just activated my trap card. You're going straight to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, AJ won't be joining us.
Oh, they're stuck in my fingers.
Okay, so in Dungeons and Dragons, if you're...
Are you saying ravish or ravage?
Ravish my fingers. So in Dungeons and Dragons, if you're a wizard, you can cast more than 2 spells a day. That's just friggin' basic D&D right there. And there was so many points in that movie where she could have just cast another spell.
What if she didn't know the spell?
Well, she's a fucking shit wizard.
Is there a spell that can bring the dead back to life?
Yes, there is.
So she could have saved snails.
Oh, literally, that anybody could have saved snails. They could have just found someone to cast that spell.
Yeah,
from.
that's true.
That was what I expected.
Wait, which one was Doctor Who in?
The first one.
Yeah.
So didn't Rylan, is that his name? Milquetoast.
Right, yeah, Milquetoast.
Doesn't he get brought back to life by...
No, he's not dead.
Oh, okay.
He's just severely injured.
I was going to say, like...
Fucking hell, you didn't watch the movie?
You're right, I'm sorry.
Okay, number 3. Beholders, which are like the floating eye orb things in the first movie.
Oh, I noticed those because they're in Bender's game.
Yeah. So... There is... Okay, so Beholders are like one of the most evil creatures in the Dungeons & Dragons universe.
Oh, now I'm scared.
They wouldn't just be hanging out with regular humans. And I was like... My immersion is destroyed by this one fact here. And honestly, that was the breaking point for me. That I thought these movies were terrible. Number 5, that's not how bags of holding work. There's a scene in the third movie where he drags a bag of holding over a guy to hide the body. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
They didn't even do their research. It's pathetic.
Yeah, you messaged me out of the blue while watching the film. We're like, that is not how a bag of holding works. And I was like, I don't remember what you're talking about. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't. Number 6. So in the third movie and the second movie and the first movie, none of those spells work like that. They're all like, I'm going to cast, and then they would
Could have
name
just said all the movies.
Well,
Kieran, we're an hour and 40 minutes of this podcast.
yeah, and they're like, and they name a spell, which is from the game, but it's never the right one. Again, just a lack of care, you know? It's really quite evident.
It reminds me of that like weird like I want to say like Swedish Rayman TV series they made in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I got a videotape of it from a friend. And
we talked about this recently.
I don't know, but it has all the Rayman characters, but not used as they're used in the games.
Right.
So it's like they're a bunch of toys that they're like the big bad guy from Rayman 2 is just some random character in the Rayman TV show. It's just another character.
Funny. Oh, that's kind of cute.
That sounds weird.
Was that all?
Is that what it's like?
Oh no. So the last two.
Okay.
The last two. I promise I'm nearly finished. So the last two. So.
I wasn't asking because I want you to. I just put your phone away.
Oh, because I was like, I don't
Can
know.
I keep talking about Rayman, please?
I was like, I don't need it anymore. So in the second movie, a lich shows up, and he's like, Damodar, let me jangle your bojangles, and we can be evil together.
Yeah.
Liches don't work like that. No. He'd just be like, Damodar, I'm just going to.
He's really being more of a Mr. Bojangles.
He is instead of being an
What's
actual
a lich? Like, I know World of Warcraft has liches.
So in Dungeons and Dragons,
Lich, is that Lich?
Lich,
Yeah.
yeah. So in the world of
I'm thinking
Dungeons and Dragons, it's a wizard who has, like Voldemort, taken a piece, like he who must not be named, takes a piece of his soul, puts it in like basically a little box, and then lives forever. But in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, they're like the most powerful wizards in the world. There's absolutely no way that this lich would A, look like an absolute dog's anus, or B, go to Damodar and be like, let's rule the world together. It's much more realistic at the very end of the movie when he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm out of here. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You own that.
You take your little mother box and
and you know, whatever they do in the movie away.
Yeah, that part was awesome.
This is Shadow Realm, AJ. And what was your last point?
My last point was that if all of these movies were Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I would never want to play in them because they're all terrible. They're so bad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of. If you were, I don't know, whatever. Continue the franchise. There's a segment we do regularly.
Is it?
Almost every episode. Actually, every episode. It's probably the only consistent in every episode, other than like me.
Franchise roulette?
Yes, the franchise.
That's not even every episode.
What am I talking about?
What am I talking about? Continue the franchise. There's a segment we do where we each have to pitch how we would continue the Dungeons and Dragons franchise. Now, these films are kind of... The first two are connected, the third one's a bit looser, but there is actually existing plans for a new Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Ansel Elgort has been eyed to star. It's going to be directed by Rob Letterman, who directed Gulliver's Travels, Goosebumps, Monsters vs. Aliens, and Shark Tale.
Wow, Andy had a talk show.
That's David Letterman. He's actually related to Rob Letterman. He's also attached to direct Pokemon's Detective Pikachu.
Starring Danny DeVito.
So it better be starring Danny DeVito.
And so...
Or Gilbert Gottfried.
It's
Pikachu! Pika!
That was a good stuff.
Ash! Misty!
That's good. That Misty was good.
I found a body over here! Here!
That's great.
So it's rumored to
Oh my god, it's missing a head! Pikachu!
Like, it's a detective. I was like, is this... the coins have fallen off. I was like, is this a Pokemon reference or an Iago reference? Like,
or a Dungeons and Dragons reference. Or maybe he'll... Yeah, it's going to be weird Pikachu speaking English. Because he's... Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
strange.
so weird.
It's my favourite video at the moment. If you know what we're talking about, look up Pikachu talking from Pokemon I Choose You, which is the new movie. It's this...
But it has to be the one with the audience is watching.
Someone's filming in the theatre, and Ash and Pikachu are like lying...
Ash is about to die.
Oh, is he? Okay. And
Well, he's dying.
And he goes...
He has ovarian cancer.
Pikachu, why did you never want to be in your Pokeball? And Pikachu goes...
Because I always want to be with you.
And when he says, because, you just hear this wave of people go, what the fuck? And it's like, why are these people watching this movie? And then he's like, I always want to be. And everyone just goes, no! It's so funny. It's one of my favourite videos.
Yeah, it's so... But, like, I guess the, like, explanation or, like, an explanation is that, like, Ash is, like, seconds away from death. So he's, like, hallucinating. Because it's implied that he understands Pikachu.
Right.
Because he can, like... back and forth. He's like, hey, Pikachu, how's it going? And he's like, Pika! And then he's like,
Pikachu!
Yeah, let's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that body doesn't have a head.
I have a question. Since Pokemon can only say their own names, but they can also say segments of their name, like Pika.
Yeah.
And Chew.
Can Pikachu say any amalgamation of the letters P-I-K-U-C-H-U? Could he be like, Chuki P?
I'm going to say no, but
okay.
theoretically.
All right. Why can Meowth talk?
they had the option to like teach Meowth to speak or teach him. I can't remember. It was like rain dance or something, or like bunny shower.
Payday.
Payday, yeah. Which is like this thing that it's like his move that just makes it rain money. And so Team Rocket, I was gonna say Rocket Power.
That Nickelodeon Pokemon crossover I've always dreamed of.
They obviously regret it because Meowth just won't shut up. And then when Wobbuffet gets introduced into the picture,
So no other Pokemon has taken this deal to learn to speak. It's just Meowth.
I guess.
Yeah. Also,
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I don't see what the big problem is here.
Reference.
Yeah, nice.
Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again. Wobbuffet. Anyway.
Wobbuffet!
So...
Jafar!
Starring Gilbert Gottfried as the voice of Wobbuffet.
As all the Pokemon.
As all the Pokemon.
This film is rumored to be called Dungeons and Dragons: The Hand of Chaos, and Vin Diesel is probably going to be keen for a role because he said he wants to do a Dungeons and Dragons film because he's a big D&D.
Is this continuing the like
No, this is like a new
So it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so continuing the franchise, I'm going to go first. I'm just going to sort of preface like I feel like this is what we kind of all thought of is that like a Dungeons and Dragons movie should be done like Jumanji. Like it should be about people playing the game.
Yes and no. Yeah, kind of.
Like it should be the game, the real world should be part of it.
Mate, okay, if I can, for the first time ever, merge our ideas, or at least bring one idea to the table before you're finished with your one. I don't know if it necessarily should be like Jumanji, but...
I haven't seen Jumanji. It should be like Zathura, I mean.
Have you not seen Jumanji?
No, but I've seen Zathura.
I think it should definitely bring in more elements that are indicative of it being a game. Have you ever seen the Clue movie based on the board game Clue?
No.
Or Cluedo here in New Zealand?
Oh,
so,
yes.
So that film. So you've played Cluedo, yes?
Yeah.
So that film contrives a situation where they have to figure out who killed the guy in what room with what. There's a line where Tim Curry goes, "We need to know who killed him and in which room and with what." And it's like oh my gosh, that's what the game's about. Like that's what the Dungeons and Dragons needs to do. Like the situations they end up in should be ones where they need to roll a dice or get a certain amount. I don't know enough about Dungeons and Dragons, but
you're on the right track.
The rules are a part of the reality of the world they live in.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in on here.
Yeah.
Just swiftly mount your idea.
Okay.
I agree very much with Richard's idea. In that,
And I hate your idea, Jack.
well, no, I don't want to say that.
Like the ideas my idea can combine with your idea.
Yeah.
It just gives it yours as a meta narrative to my idea.
Yeah, but but what I was going to say is I feel like the meta narrative idea of a Dungeons and Dragons movie would work better because the idea of when you play Dungeons and Dragons is that the mechanics are they are a means to an end in the story. They're not actually important to the story in any way. And so I feel like if you told a fantasy story and you did it like Clue, I feel like maybe it would just kind of take you out of it. In the same way that occasionally if you're too mechanics heavy when you're actually playing the game, it can also take you out of it. But I feel like if you lean real heavy into the meta narrative like Zathura, or, and I'm really sorry, like Jumanji...
I don't follow.
I've completely lost you.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the trailer for that. I'm actually really excited for that.
It actually looks really good.
I agree, it looks great.
If you lean into something like that, I think it'd be kind of cool. Kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, which I think is a similar kind of premise.
Well, there's Harmon Quest, right? There's
Harmon Quest is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, so that's basically what we're saying, but they kind of embrace the meta-narrative over the story.
Yeah, like I would love to see like even like you'd like the kids from Stranger Things kind of thing, like playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then you have like their avatars in the world, and then like midway through someone has to go home, like fully lean into it, and like the dungeon master, like the dungeon master has a crush on one of the girls, so like she's like impervious for the entire like game because you can just like make that shit up, like fully.
Yeah, man, and they get real angry at him, and there's this like the like breakdown at the end of the second act in the story they're playing is like a metaphor for everyone getting really mad at the dungeon master for favoring other players over each other.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was thinking like just lean into the Jumanji aspect where they are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but they're playing with like ancient Incan dice or something, and they are
they get sucked in.
Get sucked into
Yeah,
the
that would be
good.
cool.
That's raising the stakes.
like
Yeah.
so like Zathura kind of thing, but Dungeons and Dragons crossed with Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, where they are actually in the game as their characters.
So you're pitching Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Zathura.
But Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, Jumanji is like an action adventure movie. Zathura is a sci-fi. We're yet to see Zathura the fantasy or Jumanji the action like fantasy.
Yeah, like I would.
I'm jonesing
That
for
was
this
my
movie
kind
now.
of original thought, and then that sort of just like cutting back and forth.
I could go to either way. Either one would be satisfying.
Getting sucked into the game because it does raise the stakes a lot more than just like having some kids play. Like, I mean, the one I'm sort of picturing is like a light-hearted sort of.
If it was a coming of age thing, your one would work. If you're going for like popcorn family adventure flick, then
coming of age would kind of work.
I could be into that.
Cool, yeah. If like. Kind of almost if like the Dungeon Dragons like secondary to.
Oh my god!
happening?
What if it starts out as an actual just fantasy movie, and then halfway through the characters start bickering, and then it cuts to them around the board game?
Yes.
and they're like nerdy versions of like give me an actor. Jake Gyllenhaal's playing the main character. Then it cuts out, and Jake Gyllenhaal in Dungeons and Dragons is real awesome looking, and then cuts out, and he's got like a neck beard and pizza stains on his shirt. He's like, "Shut up, man!" And then it like takes on this like sort of like what the Lego Movie did, like suddenly everything's outside and it's crazy, and it's like I did not expect that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be.
People
cool.
would hate it though.
Yeah, well, because you have to make the actual Dungeons and Dragons part interesting enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have to have the adventure that is being run in the game of Dungeons and Dragons to actually be good.
Yeah. And then to have this, because you need to be able to market it if you're hiding the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's about all I have to say about Dungeons and Dragons.
Me too. Kieran,
now you're a big D&D boy.
That's true.
And here you go. I'll give you a dice. If you roll above a 2, you can plug your podcast.
Oh, fuck me. Whew, thank
11.
goodness.
Oh, actually, that's just 2 1s. That just counts as a 1.
We have
Anyway.
to work together tomorrow, Richard. Don't fucking push it, mate. I'm kidding, Olivia.
don't bloody push it.
Don't bloody push it, Richard.
Don't bloody.
Oh, that was meant to be.
Don't bloody push it, Richard!
Is that what you're going
Yeah,
for?
that was.
You really pulled this Iago impression like up
Out
a
of your
notch. I don't want to do it anymore.
Anyway, your podcast, For Crits and Giggles.
Yeah. So as Richard said, I run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I am the dungeon master for the podcast. It is called For Crits and Giggles. We play through a custom-built world that I have written myself. I think we're about 46 or so episodes in. And we got a cast of diverse characters and cool NPCs. I do more voices on it other than Iago. I promise. It's pretty funny. It can be serious at times, but it's mostly just funny. And I hear that Richard might be guest starring on it eventually if we can ever get together and record. Because let me tell you, getting 3 people together to record, it's fairly difficult, but it's doable. Getting like 5 people together to record is an absolute fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, so go listen.
tell me.
Oh shit! Where can we find it? That's right. So you can follow it on Twitter at For CNG Podcast. You can find it on Facebook. It's For Crits and Giggles. And you know what? Even though you haven't even listened to it, this is the first time you're hearing about it. Just go review it on iTunes.
Yeah,
just review it on iTunes anyway.
If you're not too busy reviewing ours.
Yeah, if you're not too busy reviewing this show. Real talk here. I've actually listened to 3 episodes of this podcast now.
Yeah.
I'm actually considering going back and listening to like the rest of them because I really enjoyed the 3 episodes that I listened to. I thought they were very good.
Thanks, man.
If you want to just write that into a review and put it on iTunes.
Perhaps 5 stars.
Perhaps 5 stars.
Chuck an IMDb.
Funny
review.
story. We were all reviewing our podcast when we first started, and my girlfriend, who's also on the podcast,
Yeah, we get it, Kieran. You have a girlfriend.
and she's real. She's not from Canada.
Is she pretty?
Is she prettier than me?
She's pretty other day. Wow. No, don't worry. She went and reviewed her podcast. Everyone gave it 5 stars. She gave it 4.
That's so much more damaging to a podcast than I think the layman would know. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a difference between like 4 viewers and 1 viewer.
me and Richard went to film school in Christchurch in New Zealand, and
Here we go.
they do a thing, and I'm going to totally call out film school at the moment because I don't give a crap about it. I'm not saying its real name, I guess, so that counts. But every semester break, you would do something called professional practice, where you would rate each other, and your tutors would rate you and you'd rate yourself. But if you got below 50, you got kicked out of the school. And the first time we did it,
the last time you do it, if you get below 65, you can't finish your degree.
Yeah.
And like an average score for this is like 75.
yeah.
Like it's yeah.
The first time we did
seems
it,
insane.
I nearly got kicked out. I had 51%. My friend did get kicked out and managed to just scrape back on in with like a strongly written letter, and like an apology. But like after that, I rated everyone 5 out of 5 stars. I was like, I was basically like to people, like, because Richard was the year below me, and I remember saying to your
I'm
class,
older than AJ.
I remember saying to your class, unless you want to kick this person out, rate them either 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Because
I had a
it's
lot of
not
people I
worth-
gave 1s and 2s. And I think a lot of people gave me 1s and 2s. I mean, I never got as low as AJ. I was always about 75ish.
Did you graduate?
I did.
I did too.
What
though,
Yeah.
So.
I assumed.
And like if you look at my degree, the actual like piece of paper, it's in like perfect condition. AJ, what's yours like?
I'll go show you. It's behind my drawers.
Okay, we need a pad.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So this professional practice thing, but it's like it was weighted, so it was like I think like 70% what you say about yourself, what the teachers say, 20% what the other people say about you, and 10% what you say about yourself. So even if you rate people low, it doesn't really matter.
The Dorito stains have kind of faded on it.
Oh, that's disappointing. I was looking forward to seeing those.
Oh yeah, no, you can see them there. There's like Dorito dust stains.
We'll post it on our Instagram.
Is it actually on the degree?
Do you know what? I don't even know if it's Dorito stain. I don't know what it. I don't eat Doritos that much.
Well, it's not like
Wait,
orange.
no,
it's
wait.
like like orange cum or something.
No, it's not.
Wait,
You're
no,
right.
It's not on the degree.
Oh, so I'm fine then.
Where is it?
I'm not a slob.
It'll be on the plastic thing.
No, I have seen this before, and it had Dorito dust on it.
I guess maybe I'm not such a
Methinks the
mess.
lady doth protest
as,
too
as
much.
you think I am, Richard. I don't know there were two sides to it.
Do you guys want to know AJ's final?
Oh wow, goodness!
His
And I did all right in the end.
his academic transcript. He got an A+ for his internship. So at the film school we went to, the internship is like the last half year. So you do a 6-month internship.
Wish
You're
we
still
got
studying.
internships where I went.
But it's like you can't. The thing I said was you can't do an internship if you don't have high enough PP.
Professional practice.
All right.
And so
Not PowerPoints.
They gave an example of someone who got
Basically.
like 62, and they let her do an internship anyway, and they showed like the feedback from the person, and it was just like horrible. Like, this is the worst person. We'd never take another intern. So yeah, AJ did C+, B, B+, B, A+. I think.
Big jump towards the end.
Yeah,
there.
wow. This is just-
I did my internship better than a lot of other people in my
Yeah, like
class.
because you got 80 out of 100 for your. Oh no, that's credits. It doesn't actually say we did, but I got 95% on my internship, and I was like an average or below average student when it comes to like all the kind of marks and shit like that. And I got the highest mark in the class for my internship.
Yeah, I think
That
I
was
might
real
have.
weird.
I got pretty high as well.
And now you have jobs.
Yeah.
Huh, right?
So anyway,
I said that knowing absolutely nothing about AJ, having only met him earlier tonight at a pizza shop. I
We
don't
met
know.
on Skype the other day. When I was
Oh
showing
yeah, on Facebook Messenger.
Richard
When,
a funny filter.
yeah, that was great.
yeah.
I was like, oh, this seems like a guy you could podcast with. And then, what do you know? Here we are.
And turns out you can't actually podcast with us.
It's just this is hell. Kill me.
That's so disappointing that there's not actually Dorito dust on
I know, it's like I really wanted AJ to be such a slob and like a joke of a person, but it turns out you can take him a little bit more seriously now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start doing that.
Yeah.
AJ, I'm going to vow to be a better person from today.
Okay.
Anyway, franchise
I'm
release.
going to see you tomorrow, so I better see a market improvement.
Oh, you will.
I'm going to see you tomorrow too.
Look, I'm going to be the best person you guys have ever met tomorrow, all right? Okay.
I'm going to ring all my friends and family, just be like, you know, Richard, Oh my goodness.
He's fixed.
He's fixed. We did it. We solved Richard. We solved Richard.
How
We
do you solve a
Ray.
problem like Richard? Anyway, franchise. We do a thing called Franchise Roulette. We've only got 2 episodes left this year, which is crazy.
Wow.
One of them is going to be the next episode we do. And so we're going to get, as always, our guests. We're going to get Kieran to give us a random number between 1 and 309.
That sounds boring, Richard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll these 3 dice and I'm going to add them together, and that's the number you're going to get. So you're going to have a limited range.
All right.
But I feel like it's more keeping in
And
with the
also,
theme.
just for...
We should do it this way all the time.
So AJ knows. Or you could do like... because you could roll like 2 of them and then give the number it reads out.
What I'm going to do is... Yeah, I'm just going to roll the 3 of them together and add them together.
Yeah,
because
so,
I feel like
also, I randomized the list today. So
Okay.
normally, if it's 1 to 100, it's kind of a more normal one because it's the order we thought of them in, but not anymore. So,
Yeah, I also looked at the list today and I was trying to figure out how I could give you guys Scooby-Doo.
which is why I randomized the list.
Yeah, which is fair enough. All right, so here we go. I've got a D20, a D6, and a D8.
So what's our maximum?
20...
34.
34, yeah.
So it's going to be under 100.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be under
between
100.
1 and 34.
We'll do 134, yeah. Okay, so we got 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 7 is 23.
You couldn't get under... You couldn't get 1 either.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled the dice.
It's
Richard.
not between 1 and 34. It's
Yeah,
between...
it's between 3 and 34. Anyway, I feel like I was talking about this one real recently. It's not Scooby-Doo, unfortunately.
Shit.
I
I failed.
Next week, we're going to be doing the 4, count them 4, Lilo and Stitch films.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We finally got Lilo and
Yeah.
Stitch.
Wow.
We've been,
why we've been talking about
we've been asked for Lilo and Stitch. Like,
David Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here it is.
David, are you
Wow.
listening?
Lilo and
You
Stitch.
don't have to yell. He probably is
He
listening.
might not be. Sometimes he doesn't comment.
Yeah, he might have given up after we said we're not
I
going to
said
do
we're
Lilo
not
and
doing
Stitch.
this. David, we don't take requests.
Okay, so we're going to be doing Lilo and Stitch, Stitch the movie, Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has a glitch, and Leroy and Stitch. Jay, actually, this is one of the things when AJ and I decided to be friends, was that we were like, you know what? AJ said to me, yeah, you're probably the only other person I know that the 4th Lilo and Stitch movie is called Leroy and Stitch. Like, as he mentioned Lilo and Stitch, I talked about like sequels, I was like, yeah, Leroy and Stitch, and he's like, you're the only person I think that would be able to just offer up that information.
Yeah, totally.
I feel such a connection, and it's over just Leroy and Stitch.
Yeah. Anyway, and also, this is going to be our last episode released in November.
Oh, yeah, we have moustaches now.
Yeah.
They do actually. I can see them both right now.
Yeah, AJ's connects up to his hair.
It's pretty good actually. I
AJ's
do
is-
like
is
it.
Civil
much
War
better than mine.
general.
Yeah. So mine, I've sort of started, I've let the rest of my face grow out a little bit because I kind of have to for like another thing. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do an end of November just a moustache video at this point. I need to
Right.
sort of see how I'm going. But anyway, we are doing Movember. It's a great cause. It's for men's health. You can find links on our Facebook page, etc. We're trying to raise $1,000, which at the time seemed ridiculous, but we're up to like $750, about 3/4 of the way there. Now we're in the very final sort of days of it. It would be amazing if we could reach that goal. And I mean, obviously, we don't get any money from it. It's just sort of like, it's cool to know that through us we helped,
Yeah.
give something back into the world, because we've taken a lot.
And we care so much about it that we put it at minute 35 out of an hour 35 of the podcast.
Maybe we'll put a little
Put a little thing at the start.
a little preamble.
Men's health is an important cause. I have donated money to the Cult Option Mo team, and
There you
I
go.
have also done Movember in the past myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, apologies to anyone who, I don't know what's going to happen with my moustache just yet. This is again, I did this last time where I said something which I should have thought about a little bit better, or like, I'm just coming up with this on the podcast. Like last week when I talked about not having emailed Christian from Two Thumbs Down. I have emailed him since. And I didn't get a reply.
I texted Richard as I was listening. I was like, did you email that guy from Two Thumbs Down?
And I literally had like 20 minutes earlier because AJ, you'd messaged me. Anyway, so next week, Lilo and Stitch, just me and AJ.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be our last episode of the year, just me and AJ.
Maybe. And if you like this and want to find out more about Cult Pop Show, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube and SoundCloud and iTunes
And Twitter. You guys are also
we're
on Twitter.
on Instagram as well. We're posting a mow a day.
And that reminds me, I need to do one for today.
Boy. And we also post when we're watching films for Film Franchise Fortnights. I did. I posted today.
Yeah, and also check out For Crits and Giggles, which about 15 minutes ago, I don't know, Kieran plugged.
Well, hey, plug it again. Keep it fresh in their
For
mind.
Crits and Giggles, check it out. I'm going to be on there soon.
Yes.
And it's
I'm
going to
not.
be a good time.